draft. So let's jump right into it, Jimmy, with the Bears.
Right.
Are the Bears ready to make the playoffs, Jimmy?
Well, I think they did a great job in getting the pieces that they needed, or they set out that they said that they need, with a great quarterback and a great receiver. Um, but making the jump from not making the playoffs, barely making the playoffs, to a lot of up and down years the past handful of years. I think they did a good job of helping them get closer to the Super Bowl, but getting in the Super Bowl, I don't know. They still got a couple of more steps that they may have to take to get there.
Jimmy, listen to this offensive lineup that they have, and Bears fans are very excited. They have Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift at running back, and receivers DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and the newly drafted Rome Odunze, which I told you is one of my favorite receivers in the draft. Those three guys alone combined for 4,200 yards last year. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. And here's another funny thing. Did you see the quote that Caleb Williams made? He texted the new punter,
Yes,
and said, "Who is they
you
drafted
will now be punting."
Yeah, they drafted a punter. He texted the punter and he said, "Hey, you're not going to punt too much this year."
I love it. I love that confidence. That's how it's supposed to be. He's the quarterback. He's coming in, fresh face, fresh to the league. He wants to immediately make an impact, and especially in the locker room with his teammates. And no one better than a draftee that just got drafted, who who is important to the game. The kickers and punters today are just as valuable as running backs and some on some teams. So I'm excited to see what they do, but you just don't go from the bottom of the cellar or mid way to jump into the Super Bowl. I think they're going to have to, it's going to be a lot of other factors that come into play that propel them to get there.
One other thing I'll say, Jimmy, is the Bears offensive coordinator is Shane Waldron. Now, he spent the past 3 years as the Seahawks OC. Now, why is this important? Because the Seahawks had Geno Smith, and Geno Smith threw at least 3,600 passing yards in each of the last 2 seasons. Geno Smith.
Everybody talks about Geno like Geno is not a professional football player that's been in the league over 10 years. He's doing something right.
He's not Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady.
No, of course not. Now, everybody has a different skill level. Everybody, kind of finds their way. And hopefully, they have a good offensive coordinator or have a great coach that'll allow them to, or put them in a position to utilize their talents the best way possible.
My point is that if he can get that production out of Geno Smith, he's now got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and the number 1 draft pick, Mr. Painted Fingernails, Caleb Williams.
But what comes along with that is keeping everybody happy. How do you keep everyone happy? Even winning sometimes doesn't cure that. So you really have to be more of a manager to manage the personalities, to get those guys to believe in the system and to go out there and really sacrifice, because there's going to be some sacrifices being made in order, when you have all that talent on the team, to to reach that next level.
So, Jimmy, I'll wrap this up by saying I do think the Bears will make the playoffs. I do. I think they've got a division with the Lions, who are really good, and the Vikings are in, and the Packers, that might have just been a sort of a lucky season. I think the Bears have a shot to make the playoffs with this if Caleb Williams can step in and